Oi, bon dia. Hi, good morning. I am coming to you from a small village, about 5 miles. I'm not quite 5 miles from Tomar, where I left this morning, so I'm about 5 miles into my 20-mile hike today. And if you look at the elevation map I shared on a post yesterday for today, you'll see that I am primarily uphill. Probably 2/3 of it is uphill. And that is what it is. So it's about 10:45 my time. So about 4:45 your time. Happy Labor Day to you back home. I was coming on earlier, about a mile into my hike, to share, because if you are local to Minnesota, you're probably familiar with Minnehaha Falls and the hike there. And there was an area that reminded me of that. So I'll share photos later. And I feel like because the connection dropped, it was just meant for me to experience in the moment and be present and be in that space, which I was. And that was lovely. And then shortly after that, I saw another pilgrim. Her name is Elisa. She's from Germany. She's 22 years old, walking by herself. She has what do you call it? A heart disease. Congenital? Is that how you say it? Congenital heart disease. And so she is choosing to do the Camino her way. Interesting how that was one of the things we talked about the other day, was walking your path, walking your Camino. So she started in Porto. So for me, I started in Lisbon. I'll go through Porto and then up to Santiago. A lot of people that do the Portuguese Camino start in Porto. So this first half, Lisbon to Porto, is less populated. I'm starting to see a couple more pilgrims trickle in. And she started in Porto, and because of her heart disease, she is not able to go as quickly as some of the other pilgrims. And if you're staying at hostels, a lot of the pilgrims will get up very early and leave because there are only so many beds at a hostel. And if you don't get a bed, you walk on until you find a spot with a bed. And she said that it ended up being far too competitive and uncomfortable because of her heart disease, which I don't blame her. So she's doing the Camino her way, and she started in Tomar. She took a train from Porto to Tomar yesterday so that she could start in Tomar, where I left this morning. And she's going to go, she figures, maybe 10 miles or so, and go from there. So she's not at all doing what, quote, people would call a traditional Camino. And you know what? I'm so over that. I'm so over people saying what makes you a good pilgrim or what makes it a good Camino. Like, seriously, folks. She's out here doing something that the majority of people would never consider doing. She's doing it with a heart disease. She's doing it solo, and she's doing it at 22 years old. The majority of the people that are judging I mean, shame on anyone for judging, but the majority of people that are judging are pilgrims who say it should look a certain way. And I just want to discuss, like, is that kindness? Is that how we embrace and encourage people? By telling them that their path is wrong and what they're doing is wrong? Like, that doesn't help anyone. There's enough judgment in the world. Anyway, so we had a discussion about that and about her bravery for walking away from the Porto route and essentially, quote unquote, backtracking. And she said her plan now is she's going to do a few days and then she's going to take a train to another area and do a few days there. And then she said she might do a third area for a few days. And I just say, good for her.
Total distance 5 miles. Total time 1 hour 56 minutes and 22 seconds. Split pace 23 minutes 48 seconds per mile.
I guess there's our 5 mile hit, right? So I just think it's so important, like even far more important than we touched on the other day. Like, we need people like Eliza who are willing to walk differently and walk a path that's completely unconventional, because then that's just going to inspire other people to say, hey, you know what? If she can do it that way, why can't I just go hop on a trail for a few days and experience it? You know? Anyway, so we walked together for a couple miles, and a short bit ago she needed a break, and so we part ways, and it was perfect. It was a perfect journey, a perfect conversation, a perfect adventure. And you know what's really interesting is in visiting with her, we spoke a little bit about, she asked me if I missed my husband, and I said, yeah, of course I do. And hold on. Bon dia. I said, of course I do. And we also realize the importance of doing things, and he is completely supportive of me doing this. And, you know, I asked her, does she miss her boyfriend? And she said, I miss him so much, but I also know that this is important for me to do this so that I keep a sense of myself. At 22 years old, she said that. And I just thought, oh, what a blessing you are, my young friend. What a blessing to know that at 22 years old. Now, I'm not one to live in regrets, because I don't believe regrets are helpful. But at nearly 48 years old, Lindsay is my 4th husband. So I've been married and divorced 3 times. By the time I was 22, I had been married and divorced. And I believe I was married. Was I married? No, I was not married a second time. But I was in a relationship and close to getting married a second time, which is crazy. And I had my daughter. And so, no, I was not in a relationship yet. At 22, I had left my first husband. So married and divorced by the time I was 22 with a young daughter. And I just, you know, I don't live in regrets, because all of those experiences helped gift me who I am today. And I truly believe that it was always meant to be Lindsay, my husband now. It just took me a few tries to get there. And without those experiences, I wouldn't know the goodness of what I have now. And also to have that wisdom at 22 years old, what a blessing. Gosh, what a blessing indeed for her and her boyfriend to realize, and her especially to realize the importance of doing this and keeping connected to who she is and honoring that part of her. I just think that's so beautiful. Anyway, I guess that's what we needed to talk about this morning, and now we're moving on. So I'm in for 20 miles today. We have a quarter of it done, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday if you have the day off, and if you happen to be working today, I hope it's equally amazing, and I'll share more with you later. Bye, friends. Well, not goodbye. Now I have slow connection, so we need to chat for another moment. I'll tell you this. I'm so grateful for overcast. I'm so grateful that the wind is out, and I'm so grateful that even though I got a bit of a later start, I had the most delicious breakfast. Woo, that scared me. I had a car and a dog. If you saw that face, I have no idea what face I made. That scared me. I'm so grateful for a most delicious breakfast and the energy that comes with that. And it was a cooler start this morning, even though I started maybe 45 minutes later than I had been. So we're moving along. We have over 5 miles in us now, and less than 15 to go. That feels really good. Oh, and for those of you asking, my feet feel amazing. I only have one big blister that I'm contending with now, and that one is just covered and taken care of, so it's all good. All right, I'm going to turn this around quick because you need to see. Renee, if you end up watching, and Kate, if you end up watching, here you go. Look at those things. Beautiful succulents. My goodness, those are stunning. Anyway, okay, friends. I hope you have an amazing day. All good here. I'm excited about today. I'm excited about what it's bringing. So I hope your day is amazing. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.